Robbinsville to order this February the 3rd, 2021 at 1 p.m. At this time, we've got I'll entertain a motion to, okay, that, council member Debbie Beasley will be, counted as present here, over by telephone.
Thank you, Steve.
Motion to approve her attending the meeting by phone.
Okay. Along. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. I think we've got one addition.
Yeah, we'll make it let's go ahead and make it number 11. Need to add, Rev to number 11.
I thought I was gonna be on public comment.
Guys, I need to make a motion to, change the agenda too. I wanna add something.
Okay,
I wanna check on the policy of having, food trucks in the city limits. I wanna kinda go over that and find out what our policy and stuff is for that.
okay, we'll make that number 12.
Okay, thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the two add-ons, number 11 being revved up and number 12 food truck.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular board, meeting public hearing for January 6th, 2021.
I've got a question on, in the public hearing, Ellen, does, the two people need to be named by name that spoke in the public hearing? Do it in the alley closure?
It's good because it shows that people had an opportunity to speak. It's not the same as public comment.
So they need to have both
Yeah,
names
that's-
listed, okay.
That helps.
Okay, that's, as far as I know, and that's the only other issue I got after reading the minutes. Is, just add those two names to the public hearing of the closed alleyway. Make a motion to approve as amended.
I'll second that.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to go into, public comment. Open up public comment.
I'll make a motion to go into public comment at this time.
Second.
Okay, public comment is open. Got anyone? You want to speak on?
Can I do my revved up thing now, or
Well, what is,
what are we doing?
well, you have to be listed in within 48 hours, be
Yeah, I
on the agenda in order for any action to be taken. From what I understand on number 11, I think it's gonna be the approval of the $2,500.
That you proposed to us in September.
Okay,
That will be voted on here at number 11.
the reason that I ask is this: we've got a landscape architect and a structural engineer meeting us down at the retaining wall on Main Street at 1:30. And so I want to do whatever I can with you folks, but I'd like to be in that meeting, but I don't have to be. Michelle is there.
I mean, we can, move you up to the number 1 on before the mayor's update,
Okay,
and we should be there pretty quick.
that'd be great.
Okay, we'll move number 11 up in front of number 1. Okay.
Did you have anything else you wanted to discuss?
Not under public comment,
Okay.
when my spot comes up.
Anyone else? I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
So moved.
Deb,
Yes,
need a
sorry,
second.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Okay. Old business. Town hall mode issue update. We've had, some deaths in, some of our maintenance people, weather and stuff. They do have it on the board to be done. The full clean out of the basement, and then the dehumidifiers, and then the O2 wizard, and all. We've had snow and kind of weather and everything. And they're reading, as we speak now, they're reading meters.
Also, we did check on the awning that we approved, and they said it's gonna be a pushback to April, is that right? Is that right, Sonia?
Yeah.
April. They're backed up too, so.
Gosh.
But that's still in the works, and, that's all I've got on it. Number 2 is the Old Town Hall lease. Our attorney has got drafted, the Old Town lease, what we had, previously discussed and wanted to add to or change or whatever. And she has it for us to view. It's in each one of your packets.
I'd like to leave that table till we speak with Miss Benton to see if they still wanna proceed with the lease.
I'm gonna second that.
Long Creek survey, the survey is done. They're doing the plat and the locations of everything, and we should have the L Branch survey and the Long Creek survey at our next meeting.
Okay, wonderful.
And then the Collins drainage issue update, McGill and Associates is waiting on to see if we get this grant
Before they drag.
before they do any of the start drafting and what's gonna change and everything. And really that is unchanged right now until we find out whether we got to get this grant or not. And all. And just as soon as that grant, I can find out more about if said box will be or will not be or whatever, because it depends on how much grant money you get and everything, whether you can do the project or how much more you can add to it, whatever. So that's still on hold till we find out something from the grant people.
Yeah, that's all that Bo's waiting on is if they're gonna change that, box and then before he starts that project. If they don't change it, he'll start whenever the weather's clear.
Are you tabling it or taking it off?
It's stay on the table.
Is there any further old business to take care of this time? I'll entertain a motion to come out of the old business into new. Don't need one, okay. Alright, and on line of new business, revved up, Mr. John Collins.
Your Honor, may I approach the bench?
Yes.
Oh, wait, that's a different meeting.
I don't want no dress.
This is the final art that's going on the Loveless building. Right here. I want everybody to know that the Flagpole Artwork, the artists have purchased their materials, but they have to get, the temperature has to be above 50 degrees for a couple days and sunny, or the paint won't set.
So they wait a little while.
So they're anxious to get started on it, but they have to have the weather. We wanted to ask about the $2,500 operating expenses because we've got a fellow working on our website, and we need to find funds to pay him once he's through. We have a North Carolina Main Street conference. It's March 9th through 11th, and we'd like to register for that. And actually, I'd like to have 2 people register. Maybe Taco, you could, as you'd be there if you wanted to register for it. You could be there as a board, as a town council and board member with us. The reason that I'd like to get 2 people is because there's so many programs, and it's virtual. It's here. We don't have to go anyplace, and the registration is only $90.
When's the deadline?
I'm not sure what the deadline is, and I think it's $90 per person to register, and it's the conference is the 9th through the 11th of March.
I'm sure since it's been virtual, they probably take registration up to the day of.
They might do that. I thought I had it here, but it's not. It's
Where's it
in
being held?
It's virtual.
So you can do it
Oh,
at church.
virtual.
So yeah, it's a state conference, but it's virtual. So anyway, we'd like to get on board for that because we can apply again next year as a downtown associate community, and hopefully we'll get approved this time. I want to give you a preview of, I'm putting together, the reason that I couldn't get on the agenda, I'm in a grant writing class, and the end of last week, my classes are Thursdays and Fridays all day long, and the class just chewed me up. I had a lot of homework to do. My proposal for the class is to get funding, is to get a collaboration with all of our local governments, which means the town, the county, and the 2 tourism associations, and Great and Revved Up, to work together on a project that we're proposing, which is these murals. The one on the Loveless building, and this one for a North Carolina musician's mural trail. And the artist wants to put a mural of Ronnie Millsaps up on one of our local buildings. So I'm going to take this proposal, and we're going to set up a meeting before the end of February. Try to get the community center, the community room at the county building. And I want to get everybody there, but I want to give you folks, I want to give the town a preview, to know what's coming up. And I'll be talking with Becky sometime next week after the class is over to see the best way to approach it through the county. And we want to have GCT&T. I've already discussed this with Karen, and she's on board with it, I think. If you say different, that's okay. Whatever. Anyway, we already have the mural of the Snowbird Cherokee women going on the VFW, and the artist would like to put this on the county agriculture extension building on the gable end that faces the courthouse. He wants to do Ronnie Millsaps. He's a musician himself, and Ronnie Millsaps was one of his father's favorite artists, and so he feels especially tied to this. But he's doing initially 20 North Carolina-born musicians across the whole state. It's part of a mural trail. He's already getting great publicity. The 60 Minutes is talking about doing a story on 60 Minutes. But he and his manager and the other artists for the Loveless mural will all come to this proposal and make a presentation at the proposal. Mm-hmm. And what we'd like to do is get the murals up and done, and then we'd like to have a mountain music festival, combination car and motorcycle show, sometime late summer or early fall. And by then we should have herd immunity from COVID. And we'd like to invite Ronnie Millsaps to attend because it would be a dedication ceremony for his mural. And, you know, we'd like to make it, turn it into like a big event. And I don't know if anybody here has ever heard of the Fiddlers Convention.
Mm-hmm.
That's been going for, 40 years, 45, 50 years now. And that's always a big event. So we'd like to see that happen. We have funding for wayfinding signs. That's going to be happening soon. We've got some things worked out on that. And so basically this proposal that we're going to make is for the 4 associations, and we're going to ask that the cost of the murals is going to be $40,000 to do both murals. And we're proposing that the 2 tourism authorities and the town and the county each participate in 25% of the cost. Just the Loveless mural alone is like a huge giant billboard that can be seen from all over the bypass. The building is 89 feet long and it's about 20 feet tall. And we've got our logo up there, the adventure portal to your natural destination across the top of this mural. And so it would be less than what a billboard would cost for 10 years. This will last at least 10 years, maybe more. And the cost to each person would be less than what a billboard would cost. So that's our proposal will be our proposal.
What is that? 10,000 for joint, right?
10,000 per, yeah. And with that would give us 3 nice murals on Main Street. We're gonna have some wayfinding signs up. We've got some buildings with facelifts, and you'll start to see some pretty good changes in the town this year. And I think that event would be something that would be huge and bring in huge crowds and help the tourism, tourism for the county. And so that's basically what we've got on our agenda.
Thank you, John.
No problem.
He presented a budget to us, I think it was $2,500 back in the August, September, I can't remember exact, but it was for their operating expenses. And at this time, I'd like to make a motion to give them the $2,500 plus the $180 for their virtual class. So that'll be $2,680. And
I'll second that, Brian.
okay. All right. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Thank you all. I'm gonna run down to that meeting.
Okay, update me what you found out.
Okay.
Next on the agenda, mayor update. At this time, I want to remind my board members that it's renewal of your ethnic. It's that time of year again, so you can get online. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you didn't have no changes from last year, you can just type in no changes and get updated back on that again. So that's just a reminder of each one of your ethnics thing. 2 is it's been brought to my attention, wondering if wanting us to put on the work list maybe to see possible do it some type of study or something in reference to the possible sewer extension to go on over from out here to into Milltown and connect the lower part of Long Creek on our sewer, which, you know, that's not after a vote right now, but to be just a roll around in your mind, because it has to be a study done before anything done, there'd have to be some elevation shots and everything, but that's the one there. Also, in your packet there, we have had in the past, on our floodplain insurance, through the state of North Carolina, we did have one back, 2.5 years ago where a property owner had reached out in the creek and, changed some of the shoreline there on Little Creek. They done an inspection back in June. And, this year is just a letter from the North Carolina Department of Public Safety, Emergency Management, reference to the National Flood Insurance Program. And, this year is mandated that every town and county and all have this here, and it says, this letter is to inform you the community assistance visit for the town of Robbinsville that was performed June the 23rd, 2017 has been finalized, and our office has determined that no violations were found and all items reviewed during the visit have been finalized. At this time, COV is considered closed. It says here the town of Robbinsville has been enrolled in the regular phase of the National Flood Insurance Program since December 1st, 1989, thus making the flood insurance and other federal benefits available to the town. Presently, there are 2 flood insurance policies in force in the town of Robbinsville with $197,000 of flood insurance in force. Participation in the NFIP is voluntarily. For a community to maintain compliance in the program, it must effectively administer and enforce floodplain management regulations that meet or exceed the minimum standards of NFIP as set forth in Title 44 Code of Federal Regulations, Section 60.3. Their overall goal of participation in the NFIP is to reduce the loss of lives and property from flooding. Through this process, we have observed that Mr. Hooper is effectively implementing an overall goal of the NFIP, which is to reduce the loss and lives of property from flooding for the community. And it says here, please maintain all records pertaining to. And that is from Stephen E. Garrett, CFM. And copy this with Miss Shirley Burfield, Larry Henry, which is our in-county floodplain manager. Jimmy Ramsey, he's over the North Carolina Emergency Management, Area 14. Mr. Terry Fox, that's our region supervisor. And Miss Valerie Anderson, which she's our specialist. So that's a good one there. That's we've come off of that one violation that I reported back in 17. And then here the second part is just where they had done the inspection. So that's a good one. Also, I know it's on here, and I'll go ahead and touch base on it. Item number 7 down there in this update. I spoke with Mr. Harold Phillips, and Harold, and he works all of our inmates out of the jail. And whenever our wooden rails down through town were first done, it took two 5-gallon buckets and a half to paint the first painting on that. And we could probably take less since they've already been primered that one time. And we've got, I think, Chad said 32 boards to be replaced. And between me talking to Harold and contractors out there, it's kind of best usually to have the boards up about anywhere from 15 to 20 days before you paint them. And that's the outlook, but Harold has already given thumbs up on inmates will be a painting the wooden handrail. And then that's all I've got on merit update. And number 7, that's handled also. On the sidewalk replacement board.
Alright.
Okay. Finance update.
Didn't say anything about Terry, but I didn't put it
Oh.
on. You didn't put it on the agenda.
What the heck? You got something you need to, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we discussed that last week, we just didn't have the award.
No, the first thing you'll see in your packet is your cash summary. As I've said before, one way to judge the finances is always look at your cash balance. And starting in 2017-18, the board started increasing the collections and reducing the expenses. So our cash balance gradually started going up, but now we're about to level out. As you'll see in 2017 compared to 2020, we have a cash increase of $638,187. But then in 2000, compared to 2019 and year in 2020, we only have a cash increase of 5,334. So we have almost maxed out our older collections that we were trying to get. So we did good, but now we're about leveled out, so we have to monitor our budget and watch very closely. Budget versus actual, we're in our 7th month, so as we scroll through each of the percentages, we want it to normally be around 60%. For the general fund, we have brought in 65% of our revenue at the end of January and only spent 55% of our budget. So percentage-wise, we're doing really good in the general fund now that we increased our tax collections. We have a positive amount of $58,544.45. At the end of January, the county had collected 89.49% of their collections, which is not even included in this because this is your, we won't receive that money until February. So you can expect $70,000 more in collections coming in February. Our water and sewer, we have exceeded our expenses by $103,418. But we're still down a little bit in revenue for water and sewer. So we know that might be a close month. We are sitting off and trying to collect. So we hope that maintains itself. I'm hoping now, unless the board has any argument about it, since we're in a positive amount for the general fund, that I'll go ahead and pay the library and the senior center support that is in the budget. The bank reconciliations, Alderman Johnson has brought up to date to December 2020. So I'm hoping that one of the board members will still come in and do the bank reconciliations for December and January. That'd be all. Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, tax relief, the discovery.
So the county has given us 2 releases. One was, they said it was double billed, so therefore they removed it. And the second one was torn down and it was billed incorrectly, or overbilled, and it did need to be billed. So those were the two that they removed in the past month.
Is the board okay with the tax rate?
Make a motion to approve these. I think we already give them the authority to remove them.
We did tell them all the rest of it.
They just letting us know what they did. Alright.
And the business shut off policy? Is that, who wanted to bring it?
Well, we tabled it from last month,
Mhm.
but, right now, I just wanna leave, I'd like to leave it just the same for now.
Sure.
So we'll just take it off.
Yeah, I'd like to just leave the policy the way it is for right now,
Yes.
on the business side. We will revisit that down the road.
Okay.
I second that, Brian.
Okay.
We need to look at, when a business does close, if they leave with an outstanding water bill, we need to look at our policy and see if we need to even make a change in the policy to where that the person that they rent the building from pays that water bill before another company takes that building on to rent. Or we need to look at the next people that take that business on. They need to know that they have to pay that outstanding water bill. There's just something we need to look at as far as trying to draw a policy to let people know in the business deal, what's gonna be expected if there's outstanding water bills left behind.
That they would have to be paid before reconnecting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do not want to, I agree with Brian, I don't want to, give businesses only a 30-day if they have a late deal, because our businesses have been hit hard with this COVID too, and a lot of times these restaurants will go out of their way to help the communities out, and I don't wanna put a hardship on them. And I think making them, threatening to cut the water off in just 30 days, I don't want to do that. I wanna keep it as it is. I think, what is it now, 2 months?
Yeah, it's same as residential.
Yes, I wanna keep it like that too, Brian.
Okay.
COVID sick time and comp time.
Yeah, we, I met with one of the employees, and we made a decision, that affect all of our employees that, from January 1, if they're out for COVID-related absences, because right now there's no more other funds coming down the line, that they will be able to use their sick time prior to comp time if they have it.
So we'll need to vote on that.
So we'll need to actually vote on the COVID sick time, comp time policy. I make a motion to approve.
Or just during the COVID?
Just during the
period?
COVID period, yes.
Just during the COVID,
Yes,
And only
I'm
4
gonna
COVID.
second that.
yeah, and only for the, if they're out due to COVID related stuff.
I second that, Brian.
All right.
Part-time employee holiday, budget amendment.
Yeah, we, had an employee that just recently went part-time, and, we wasn't real sure, but we went back and read the policy. As long as their set days falls on that holiday, but they have to have set days. Is that correct, Sonia? Set working days? Then they are entitled, according to our policy, get the holiday pay. So, it was a part-time employee, if they're scheduled to work on the day of the holiday, they get the holiday pay.
I have a question,
Uh-huh.
if I can. Okay, we don't have set schedules at the water plant, but our only part-time most of the time, unless it's like we rotate the weekend,
Mhm.
most of the time I usually put him on like Monday or Wednesday.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
it's
You can,
not-
you can kind of say your schedule are set for Monday and Wednesday,
Yeah,
but you can vary it from when you need him. I mean, we just,
But I believe in that case,
So
since
he'd
he's
be-
working on a holiday and he's a part-time employee, he will always get paid on that holiday.
see, like,
No matter what her that schedule is. Because you wouldn't wanna pay one employee to not work, give them holiday pay, and then not pay another employee to work.
Yeah.
on Christmas
see, like
Day.
he's like I don't know. With Christmas, like he's really good to work like first shift on Christmas Day and give the rest of us
mhm.
because we don't get to shut down,
Yeah.
you know. And another question, I knew it would be for anybody, but he's a veteran as well. Would it be possible to pay him for Veterans Day? I mean, I never make him work Veterans Day. But give him a holiday for Veterans Day.
I don't see a problem in it.
I mean, I would give my holiday, let him have my holiday pay if that would, you know what I mean? Because I mean, that's just, that's a
Just
lot. I mean,
8 hours.
that's a lot. I mean, that's the way to count it, you know,
Yeah.
thinking.
I don't see a problem in that. You, Davey?
No, I don't.
So we'll have to vote on both of these
Yeah.
separately, and then the budget amount will change.
We'll have 3 different votes. On the first one, be to accept that the part-time employees that work on holidays will be paid, just like any other employee if their set schedule falls on that holiday. That's the first one.
Alright, you putting that for
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
motion. David, you say that,
Yes, I do. I tried to read this, so okay.
The second one would be the budget amendment, which would be roughly $1,600 to the water, department, for said holidays for the year. And I think it's 1663 for the year.
Finished out the year. So we'll add, to the next budget, we'll need to add 6,489 to cover the case.
It's half of that to cover the rest of this year.
are you okay with that one, David?
Yeah, I guess that one's not on paper here, so I can't really,
It is,
can't
number,
understand.
budget amendment number 13.
It's with the part-time employee holiday pay, staple together, the last.
Okay, I see it now, I'm sorry.
Okay. And the last one is, any veteran that works for the town will get paid for Veterans Day holidays,
Whether full-time or
whether
part-time.
full-time or part-time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I know you will too.
I second that.
All right.
And Debbie also want to point out that part-time employee that was voted on, even though he's Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, or whatever, he is on, 24-hour, call-in anyway,
Yeah, he's,
also.
he has set days, but he can be
Yeah.
called in whenever they need.
But he'll only be paid.
Yeah,
yeah.
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 Is that where so if he called in on another day, then he's gonna take one of those days' wages to stay at that 24 hours?
Yes.
Yes, if feasible.
Okay.
Look, our part-time, I don't ever do this, but I never schedule him over 32 hours. Am I doing that right? He doesn't need to work over 32 like on, when we take weeks off and stuff, is that right?
Unless the merge,
Doesn't matter, they all get paid the
Yeah.
same.
I mean,
same,
could he work 32, over 32 if there's an emergency?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, I'm with you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
If he's willing to work, yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, I mean, he may not be, but I didn't wanna do something, you know,
Yeah,
with
yeah, you're
the
good.
part-time thing.
Okay, that's it.
And number 8,
Yeah, we took care of it.
number 7. RTA council appointment. We got a
Whole page.
a resignation, from, council member Adams. And, we've got a list about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I've got one I wanna add to that.
will be 15. Okay,
Richard Levin,
I guess at this time, I would entertain a motion to give a recommendation to present to the Robbinsville Tourism Authority,
No, we,
or do we,
You
we
will
appoint it.
you guys, our board appoints them?
Mhm.
Well, I'll entertain a motion, for, to pick an appointee, either from the list or
I
whatever.
do have a question, and maybe Debbie or Karen can answer. Has any of these people been asked?
No, we made a decision not to ask because we didn't know who might be approved.
Okay, so we need to probably make an initial and a backup if they decline.
well, I have asked Richard, because I thought that, when we put these people's names down, I thought that Karen was gonna, you know,
Touch base.
see if any of them was interested in it, then that way, that would
Yeah,
make our job easier. But,
I mean, we can put it on hold for another month if you ends up wanting Karen to go and speak with them, see if they'd be willing to serve if they got appointed.
yeah,
I mean, I'm fine with that. You guys have been working with one, board member short for a while now, so.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
you want to
Okay.
shorten the list.
I spoke with Richard, and he is he has a business, plus he's a citizen of the city limits, and he has some great ideas concerning, and he would be a great help concerning the car shows and all of the different things that we've been talking about. He's excited about it.
In your bylaws for your RTA, you have to be a citizen of or resident of the town of Andrews. Are these all residents?
Oh,
Or,
wrong town.
No, Seth is a resident. of the
Yeah,
city
Seth
limits.
is,
Yeah.
Blake Orr is, the Teresa Eller is,
Yeah, Teresa, I would
Richard.
think Lindy would be.
no, just outside.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, send along the creek. It's city limit.
Oh, okay.
So, and, we'll put it on hold till next month, and you can, well, if they're not wanting to serve, and hate to give them, appoint them if they don't wanna serve on the board, so.
Exactly, yeah.
So, we'll turn that over to Karen, and she can, give them a call and see if they're willing to serve. If appointed.
Well, there's not before on the list that seems that
in the
it's
city
limit.
limits, yeah, so that would eliminate all but 4. Who's the 4th one, Mayor? I thought the road.
Mark Lewis, she lives out here across the Freeman, yeah.
Where's she at? Oh, there,
Third.
yeah,
Down.
Mark,
It'd be
Okay.
Mark, Seth, Teresa, and Richard,
and Blake.
Blake.
and Blake. Okay.
If you would, Karen, just go to them and see if they're willing to serve if appointed to this board, and, their schedule, they meet once a month.
Okay.
And then report back to us at our next meeting. Alright, thank you.
We might want to make sure they have to live inside the county,
It
because
does.
we have a board member that's on RTA does not live in the city limits.
If it's a business owner with tourism, something,
That was the way I was reading it. It says, members of the authority must be residents of, own, operate,
that's for it, own, operate a business within the
or
city limits.
have an interest in a business or entity in the town of Robbinsville.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that says disjunctive there, but I guess probably we need to clean up because must be residents, own, operate. When you think about own, operating, or have an interest in a business, that's the business. own, operate, or an interest in business. That part is disjunctive. But if you're also saying it's disjunctive for a resident, we need to clean it up. Because it must be a resident of, and then you either own, operate, or have an interest in a business or entity in the town of Robbinsville. That's how I read it, so we'll clean it up if you think that that means you can be outside the town. We have to say.
And should it also read there too, that you need to be a resident of Graham County?
Well, yeah, you could say resident of Graham County as opposed to
Uh-uh.
resident of the town. Okay. The RTA needs to
Yeah.
amend that one. So resident of Graham County.
Well, we need to have something like that drawn up to be approved and then voted on in.
They do that through theirs, I believe.
Do theirs.
These
Through
are
their
the,
board.
Well, the town of Rockville,
But it was
the board was the one that drew those up, wasn't it?
Yeah, when they started, now it falls back to their board.
Okay.
Is it,
yeah, the Robbinsville Tourism Authority rules and procedure, rules of procedure. So, but I would clean that one up because it looks like,
just give the information you need that needs to be cleaned up to Karen, and she can present it to the board at this month's meeting. And then at that time, she'll have time to talk to some of these people and see if they're willing to be.
So you wanna go back to town residents now, not county?
I would speak with all of them, as long as they have some type of tourism, or not even tourism business, they have interest in promoting
interested, yeah.
tourism.
Okay, so that'll be tabled.
Yes.
Okay, number 9, closed business sign procedure. I spoke with, I tried to speak with, Mr. Lovelace. He owns the property where, the said, business sign is no longer open. There's 3 or 4 businesses that is open on the back side of this one said, 4 of the 8 advertisement board thing for the hub, not the hub, the Huddle House. And that previously was owned by Mr. Kurtz, where this said billboard is. Also, there was a gentleman came in here and he met with Chad Carter, our supervisor for maintenance, and he is showing interest in purchasing the said project at Huddle House. And he was asking questions about sewer and water and everything else like that right there. But, and I think there've been different people, visitors, saying, well, why advertise something that's, it's closed down? Like, we need to. And I think, Debbie, aren't you the one that asked for this to be on?
I did, there's people that come through the post office and they'll say, well, where is the Huddle House? And you have to tell them that it's shut down. Or they ask where the mansion is. There's evidently signs where the mansion's supposed to be.
Yes, they are.
My main one was the Huddle House. Is there something that we need to do to get it took down, or
Well,
have it changed, or painted, or?
that's one reason why I've reached out to the present property owner to see if there was some type of agreement or something. That way it would point us to the direction that we need to do as the town of Robbinsville, in order to have something either in our rules and regulations or whatever reference to
ordinances that says,
I didn't see one.
no, I didn't think it was. We have no ordinances that prohibits them or makes them take their sign down after their business is closed.
So would it be an issue if we had our maintenance men take it down?
Because a lot of those are privately owned.
And it's on private property.
Okay, that's, and I was unsure about all of that.
See,
We
see,
just need to go by
Dave,
ordinance.
Debbie, that sign's about 40 foot off of the state right away through there anyway.
Okay,
There in that grass field there, in that grass corner.
okay,
You could adopt a resolution and have a public hearing to adopt an
Right.
ordinance and add it to the book.
Okay.
To remove signed closed business. I've got some name, are you contacting the owners or the Huddle House people? You know, they applied to be or they requested to be annexed. I can never find anyone, but I have a half a dozen numbers and names that I called because they have to sign a petition to be
Right.
annexed.
Mhm.
Well, they're closed, so I'm sure that's void now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is, but I mean, I've got some names and numbers if you wanna call them and ask them.
Oh, we've got every one of those,
You've got it.
and it's kinda like pulling chicken
Oh, yeah.
teeth.
I understand.
Alright, number 12,
I have a little insight on this. As far as I know, we don't have any ordinances prohibiting them coming into town. It would be up to the property owner and if they are certified by the health department, as far as I know, as far as food trucks.
okay. Well, I had one of them approach me about it, and it kinda makes sense, you know, if they bring their food truck in, they're taking business away from the ones that are in the town, that pay their water bills, that pay their sewer bills, and they're coming in here and taking their business away from them. He made a good point. We just need to look at, is there any kind of a fee to charge them to set up inside the city limits?
well,
If there's not, then we may need to consider that.
how it's being done right now, like, whenever, like, we have our Heritage Festival,
Oh, yeah, when you have a heritage festival, that's totally different. But these people are wanting to bring their food trucks in here and set up for every day. You know, just drive their food truck up, set it up, and get their business. But then that pulls business away from our
I mean,
local
we've had them do that in the
yeah,
past.
they,
water bill to pay their sewer, and it takes their business away. But then it's kind of like we're allowing somebody to come in. They're not having to pay us water. They're not having to pay us sewer, and it's hurting the local restaurant.
Where are these food trucks parking? Where do they park? I was just looking at, I've been looking at the ordinances and you do have some in place about parking. And you have some ordinances about obstructing streets and sidewalks. So when the food trucks come in, the ones you're talking about, where are they parking?
Private parking lot.
It hasn't even started yet. It's just kind of it's fixing to. People are asking about it, and then it was brought to my attention. Well, these food trucks are coming in here, and we're allowing them to come in, but then we're not getting nothing from them. But we're still expecting the local restaurants in city limits to pay their water and their sewer bill. It was just a concern from some of them, and I told them that I would approach you guys and see if there was what kind of an ordinance that we had, or if we needed to change our policy, because it's something that may set in, and it looks like it may, just like in Bryson City. There's a food truck that sits there on the corner. What the policies are, I don't know.
Maybe we could reach out to Bryson and these other towns that actually allow them in the city limits and see what they have, policy they have. We may be able to adopt similar policy to what they have.
Right?
but,
But I guess they made me see their point, and I wanted to stress their point to you guys, for us to really be thinking about this and not hurt our local restaurant owners by allowing somebody to come in and we're not getting nothing from them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see that. It's just like that 2 or 3 years ago, that hamburger place that you get a whole little old small brown paper bag full of french fries and a hamburger, and another one, he moved as far up as where the state shed was, and moving out of town, you know, getting out of the outside the city limits and all. But I'm with you, you know, I hate to see our in-town restaurants and stuff lose money to somebody that don't pay no water bill, no sewer bill, and everything but the town of Robbinsville gets all the trash and all. That's one thing that really we probably need to just sit down during a work session or something and kind of look over some of the new stuff that really maybe needs to be added to our ordinances.
Right. Thank you, Steve.
Post some material too, I'll look at my municipal stuff.
Okay, is there any further business that come before this board at this time?
Back to number 7, we probably need to approve and go ahead and get those
We-
boards for whenever they're ready to do.
I've already been approved to get them.
Oh, have we? Okay.
Yeah, that was in 2 months ago,
Okay,
you know.
I've slept since then, sorry about that.
And worked a day or two,
Not
right?
much, but I have slept since then.
You know, does anybody have anything to go into a closed session?
I don't, Debbie.
No, I don't.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to close this February 3rd, 2021 Town Board of Robbinsville meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, Debbie, you have a good day.